So this film that you're making,
Hmm.
what's this all about? And is this bringing everything together for you?
Yeah, it's probably the culmination of all my entire experiences in the healing, in the hearts, in the arts, in the healing arts. It's the film is called The Choice right at the moment, and it's the story of four women and four men who come together. They're called. They all have these experiences in their life that have called them to their heart. And most of them are pretty traumatic experiences, like divorce, cancer, child abuse, such like that. So that they have this incredible wound, and they come together, and they come together in a community where they begin to get real, and they go down the rabbit hole, so to speak, and they go on this incredible journey, and are met with different mentors along the way to help them find their healing, find their gifts, and begin to come back into their communities so that they can share what they've learned. So I like to call it it's like the next Wizard of Oz in a way, where they instead of it's just Dorothy, it's a whole group of people going together on that trip, and they confront their demons, their shadows, and they confront great love, so that they can shift that and change it. So it's a wonderful film. We're in the very early stages of it. It's being produced right at the moment. We're still fundraising, but I do believe it would be like the Godspell, the next Godspell, or the Jesus Christ Superstar, or Hair back in the 60s or 70s. It has that same sort of transformational element that those films carried and those plays carried during those times, where there was a big shift in consciousness happening. This film addresses that shift. That yes, we can choose love, and so by doing so, we can support each other to heal, and in that healing, we have great joy. We come to a great sense of joy and purpose, and that's what that film is all about. Very cool.
And does the film include quite a bit of music as well, and arts?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. It's all the 15 songs on my I Choose Love film or CD are the basis for the whole film. It was actually years ago when I released the CD. I had this great big show in Nashville, Tennessee, and I had a 9-piece band and a choir. We did it in this big auditorium, and had all the pictures to the songs as a backdrop. And after the show was over, everyone came up to me and said, this is great, but this is much bigger than just you. I mean, this should be put into some sort of a play, or So I went at that point. I said, okay, well, I'll write it into a play. So it's actually a theater piece. It came out as a theater piece, and then I did some readings on it in L.A., and the people said, this is great, but you're going to reach a lot more people if you make this into a film. So we wrote it, transferred it from the theatrical piece into the film now. So that's what we're producing now. And yes, it's all about the music and using the power of dance and the arts and artfulness to get this message out into the world. Yeah.
So does the film actually give a message, or do you feel it will inspire people to follow the process that the characters in the film are going to are showing them, or what? Will they have a sort of spontaneous reaction to the film in some way?
Well, my intention with the film is it's a film that's going to initiate the heart of humanity. In other words, when we open our hearts, sometimes they crack open and sometimes they open very gently, depending on where you are in your process. And my intention with this film is to let people understand that in our choice to love, that sometimes our hearts open very easily and sometimes they crack open, and what we have to go through to understand that choice to love and to take responsibility for that. I like to call it an initiation. It's a beginning point where people can understand that there are other people that have gone through this transformational process, and they've shown me this. And I'm going to be supported along the way as I open up and begin to do this healing. And it's like any skill that we have, or that we aspire to. It takes effort. And what this film will do is it will give people a guideline, a very clear guideline as to how to open, your heart and walk that path of heartfulness and community, so that we can begin to really uncover our brilliance and allow our brilliance to come out into the world, which again will inspire everyone. So yes, it's a film about healing, and about taking responsibility for both our shadow and our light in a way that will really heal the earth and all sentient life, so that we come into balance with one another. Yeah, very powerful film.
And for you, really, the starting point is this choice, isn't it? The choice to love.
It is, and I think it's, people have, over the years have said that free will is our greatest gift. And I believe that's really true. And the challenge for me in my experience with this is that although that's my greatest gift, I was unaware of it. So I think my greatest mission in life with this project anyway is to begin to assist people in understanding that they have an awareness of choice. It's an interesting ride right now, because what science is proving is that 95% of our behaviors are driven subconsciously. But the more we bring those subconscious behavior into conscious moments, we have our great ability to choose which way we want to go. So, yes, for me, it's the greatest. I think the most loving thing that I can do for myself and for other people is to assist them in becoming aware that you have a choice. There's always a choice, love or fear. Which way do you want to go? Can you slow down long enough to consciously be aware of which is which? And that's what this film will also do, is can we slow the process down enough to say, this is the loving way to go, or this is the painful way to go. There's no judgment. Which way do you want to go? They'll eventually come to the same place again, but me personally, I'm ready for the lessons in love. I've had enough of the fear. Pain, I love what the Buddha said, pain is part of the process, but suffering is optional. I think I'm done with the suffering part. I've been in too many ditches in my life to say, I think I'm ready to start enjoying it a little bit more, I'd invite everybody. It's like, if you guys, aren't you just tired of the warring in the world? It's like, there's got to be something better than this, It's like, if we're aware of it, well, let's create something different, So, yeah, that's what that's all about.
And then, having made the choice to love, for most people, where do people go from that point on?
Well, I would like to say that that's where the moment comes in. It's like there is an inherent guidance system within all of us, I believe, that the heart will speak to you. All right, you've chosen to listen to your heart. Where is it directing you next? It may be as simple as taking out the trash, cleaning up your house, making an appointment with a therapist, or booking a ticket to go see a place that you've always wanted to go that you've never allowed yourself to have. Picking up an instrument or a paintbrush for the first time because you've always wanted to do it. It's beginning to cultivate those yearnings, those desires in your heart that says, what? This is loving me. This is self-care for me. And this is the next step. And then once that step's done, then you take another step. So you approach this in very light, simple steps. It's not rocket science. It's just what's next. How am I choosing love right now? I choose love in this moment right now. And just take it from moment to moment. I think it's about just really getting anchored into the moment and asking myself, am I choosing love right now? or what's the most loving thing for me to do now? You know, like coming back to love begins with me. That's how this all morphs together. The choice is to begin with me. The choice is, do I choose to love me or not? You know? And I think it's as simple as, do you want to be in pain? Then you can go down that road. If you want to, you know, go through the pain, or you want to choose a more loving or you know, perhaps less resistant way of going, let's go this way. You know, I think, and coming back to that choice point, I think as a collective whole, we're starting to make the choice to love. I can see it. I can see it everywhere. And I'm excited about that, where we're going. Imagine for a moment choosing love if there was free energy all over the planet. And this technology has been available since the 40s and 50s. You know, would people begin to let down their you know, the guard long enough to say, you know, it's for the benefit of all mankind that we move beyond fossil fuels and understand that there's enough free energy around for everyone? Wouldn't that have an impact on everyone's life? I mean, it would be tremendous. So, you know, these are the things I think that we're coming into. I think humanity is ready to choose love as a conscious whole. And I think they're beginning to understand that it does start with me, and it does ripple out. And through those ripples, I can be a part of this, and as long as I'm doing my part. And that starts individually, and then it comes into those small pods, and then out into the bigger pods, you know. So yeah, absolutely. It does begin with me, though.
And you're optimistic, then, for the future, at a time when people are uncertain?
You know, I'll be honest with you, I have my moments where I feel like, man, we're going down fast, you know. But then something happens and I realize, you know, there's a lot more going on than meets the eye, you know. And I do believe that there's a tremendous amount of support on other realms that are, you know, supporting humanity right now to really make this shift. So yes, I'm very optimistic and excited for not only myself, but for all of humanity. You know, it's as simple as like this. It's like, if I can heal clinical depression, and for the most part be able to be free of that, then I think that the earth can turn around. Because if I can do it, I know that everyone else can. You know, and it's just a matter of, what do we choose? Coming back to that. You know, if we choose to love if we choose love, this is what we're going to get. If we choose fear, this is what we're going to get. And it comes back to that place. Which way do you want to go? You know, I'm personally ready to have a lot more love and laughter and fun and joy in my life. I'd like to go out and see the universe at some point too, you know. Get off of this rock for a little while and see what else is out there. You know, that'd be kind of fun. You know, it's like, I don't think the galactic family is quite ready to have us yet until we get through until we clean up our room, so to speak, if you know. Yeah. Yeah, I am very hopeful for humanity. I think that we're waking up faster than we realize, and that I do believe the golden age is upon us. But we have to take responsibility for it. It's not going to happen if we don't take action.
Is there anything that you know that had occurred to you before we started that you'd really like to say? Is there anything else that comes to mind that you'd really like to take this opportunity to explore?
Yeah, I would like to say that humor is absolutely critical on this journey. And for me to have the ability to learn to laugh at myself for the mistakes and just the absurdity of my thought process and actions at times is critical. Belly laughing especially. I like to bring a sense of humor to the healing process, because sometimes it hurts so bad the best thing to do is just laugh. You know, and so just to remind people that, you know, the choice to love, as challenging as it is, it has brought up such incredible laughter in me. I've visited the whole wide range of the emotional spectrum, and I want to remind people to laugh along the way. It doesn't have to be so serious. We can be lighthearted as we're doing this together. And I do believe that through the experience of joy, that's what will shift the masses quickly, is doing it with joy. It's like when I go out and play these concerts, as heavy as some of the songs can be, we also laugh a lot. And it's that laughter and that joyfulness that makes it all worth it. So remember to have fun along the way. That's what I would say. That'd be my, love begins with me, and I'm inspired to have fun along the way. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Very good. All right, thank you, Shawn.
Oh, you're welcome.
Thanks very, very much indeed.
Yeah, it was a pleasure to be here.
I can see laughter, or I can see tears. I see a choice, love or fear. What do you choose? I can see peace, or I can see war. I can see sun